Hey, good morning, everybody. Um, I'm gonna be doing a solo preview of the Arsenal Newcastle game later today, which is uh, the game of the weekend, I believe so. And I think there's also a Chelsea Spurs that we're gonna be running solo, but I'm gonna be taking the Arsenal Newcastle game for this weekend. Welcome back to Talk Football Live. This is another edition of this week. We're gonna be doing a solo recording and preview, like I mentioned. Um, so thank you for continuing to watch our videos. Please continue to subscribe, like, and share with friends. Help us expand this community. So thank you very much for your followership. All right, so let's get to the game. Arsenal Newcastle. Newcastle is going to be home. Arsenal is going to be the away team, so we're going to be visiting St. Jesse's Park this weekend. And as an Arsenal fan, which you already probably know by now, um, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough game. So let's talk about the possible selections, folks that are available. Arsenal is dealing with a lot of injuries, and I believe Emily Smith-Rowe, ESR, has been added to the injury list. So now we have Emily Smith-Rowe out of the game. We have Thomas Partey out of the game, and we have Gabriel Jesus out of the game. So also Julian Timber, who has been out since the very first game of the season. So key players missing. That's fine. That's why you need to have a deep squad. Uh, that's the way things are, especially if you're playing in 2, 3, 4 competitions in a season. You need to have a very deep squad, and quality matters as well, not just the numbers. Like Chelsea has a lot of players, but they have a lot of injuries too. But quality also matters. Now on the Newcastle side, Matt Target got an hamstring, I think during their game against Man United during the week, the EFL Cup. So now Matt Target, um, Isaac, who has a groin, um, Jacob Murphy, Avi Barnes. Yeah, so there are some players out as well. So they are probably left with folks like Callum Wilson, who will definitely be the man leading the attack up front. And that's a big man there. So that's somebody that Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes has to handle very well. I'm going to come back to the selection, but just looking at the possible lineup, Eddie Howe likes to play 4-3-3 formation. I think he's going to stick to that. Sandro Tonali, of course, you know that he's out as well. He's on a misconduct ban for betting, so he's out, and that's the new acquisition that Newcastle added to the squad this season. So if you look at that team right now, Hediao likes to play 4-3-3. I don't think he has a choice. I think he's going to have to go with the three main possible guys in the midfield, and that's going to be Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and Sean Longstaff. I think those are going to be the three midfielders. Um, we can come back to the substitution later, but I think that's going to be the three midfielders that is probably going to have to rely on. Defense is probably going to rely on Dambon, Lascelles, Trippier. Yeah, in the defense. So 4-3-3, and I think his three up front is going to be. I think it's going to be Miguel Hamiron. It's going to be um, Anthony Gordon, and it's going to be Callum Wilson. So looking at the possible one-on-one, but before I go into that, let's talk about the possible selection that Arsenal might have to come back with. Uh, of course, they fielded a different team against Sheffield that Arsenal beat 5-0. I think Arteta will probably have to beef up that starting 11 and make it a bit stronger because you play Newcastle, you're going to be playing Newcastle at home. Uh, Arteta also likes to play 4-3-3. Sometimes double pivot makes it, have somebody drop in to support the holding midfielder. But I think it's going to be at the defense. It's going to be Saliba. It's going to be Gabriel. It's going to be Ben White. This kind of game, when you have uh, Miguel Hamiron running to you, I am not sure if Zinchenko is the right person. But if we're really trying to control the midfield and, maybe switch between back four and back three, we might have to take a risk and play Zinchenko. If not, we might have to start with Tomiyasu. Because I wouldn't want, I don't think it's a good idea to consider and then try to come back into the game. So I'm not too sure on that. That's an edict that I will leave to Arteta to figure out whether Zinchenko is the right person to start at left back or Tomiyasu. Um, so that's going to be a challenge. But for now, if it were to be me, I'll probably start Zinchenko. I know it's a risk dealing with a fast player like Miguel Almiron, but we might be okay um, if we have possession a lot of time and we're very alert from the beginning of the game to the very end of the game, which means Gabriel is going to do a lot of covering so that we turn that back four into the back three. Saliba stays in the middle. Ben White handles Anthony Gordon, which is a one-on-one that everybody will probably be looking forward to. Anthony Gordon is probably the fastest player in the league right now. Uh, I think it's rated faster than Mitoma currently. So that's a big test on Ben White's hand to deal and contain Anthony Gordon. Same thing with Miguel Almiron if he has the chance running into Zichenko. But I think Gabriel can give a good cover to Zichenko so that Zichenko can come in, force Miguel Almiron to support them in the midfield, draw out another defender so that he can leave Gabriel Martinelli one on one with Trippier. That's what I think might happen. So we're gonna have Gabriel Martinelli, we're gonna have Bukayo Saka on the right, Gabriel Martinelli on the left. Then Nketiah. I think Ateta might want to reward him for his hat trick and make him a starter ahead of Leandro Trossard. Gabriel Jesus is out, so definitely we don't have issues, but we might have to rely on Nketiah. Nketiah's performance has not been consistent, so that's the challenge. He had an hat trick. We don't know what kind of Nketiah we're gonna get this weekend. I hope it's the best Nketiah. I hope it's the Nketiah that's going to take his chances. I hope it's the Nketiah that can hold the ball better than he has been. I hope it's the Nketiah that can push back on that back line of what's it called? Lascelles and Fabian Shah. Fabian Shah is a top player. Uh, we're gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna have to deal with that. But if he stays in the box, does his regular job as a butcher, that might help push them back. That might help take some opportunity. We just need to get the ball into the box 18 for Nketiah to make use of it. So one-on-one on that side, Gabriel Martinelli versus Trippier, uh, Anthony Gordon versus Ben White. I think that's be a good game. The battle of the midfield, we're gonna have obviously hopes nothing happen between now and the start of the game. Declan Rice, Partey is out, so we're gonna have to pair him with Jorginho. I think we don't have a choice right now. Then have Odegaard play so that recently we've all seen what's been going on. They've been doubling up on Martin Odegaard, and to make it better, we might have to just have Jorginho free himself, see the game, read the game, get the ball, make those passes so that Odegaard. I would actually prefer Odegaard to stay on Bruno Guimaraes. Put him back, push him back a bit. Hold the ball, do what Odegaard is good at. I hope this is a game that is able to shine. His last few games have not been exciting, have not been encouraging. But I'm hoping that Odegaard can pull because we need everybody to be at the A game. If Arsenal is going to go to St. James's Park to win this game, there is no chance for complacency. It's not going to be an average performance. If you really want to go to St. James's Park and take that 3-1, it cannot just be an average game. It can be a game that we played against Chelsea. Obviously, that's not going to be acceptable. We're going to be destroyed. Newcastle is going to be ruthless. They're going to come out. It's not the kind of game that they're going to push back. They're playing at home. Eddie Howe has improved this team. Even though I think Arsenal has a better bench, because if those starting 11 is what it is, then what options does Eddie Howe have to bring in as subs? It will be left with folks like Joe Willock. It will be left with folks like maybe Matt Ritchie. Um, um, Not a lot of options. Harvey Barnes is injured, so probably have Joe Willock, Matt Ritchie, Jacob Murphy too is injured. So he doesn't have a lot of players to bring on to make a change. That's the starting 11. Arsenal, on the other hand, we have Leandro Trossard, we have Havertz, uh, maybe Fabio, um, what's his name, Nelson. Uh, you know, uh, yeah, I think we have better options to bring in and change the course of the game if things are not going okay. Tomiyasu can also come in and push him into the midfield. Um, so I think we have more options than Newcastle. For us not to take the 3 point again, it cannot be an average performance. You have to play your best game. You have to be on top of your game. You have to actually attack. You cannot, you know, wait because Newcastle is going to be playing at home. They're going to have the fans cheering, and they're going to have to do their best, go all out and attack. We cannot allow that. We have to suck the pressure. The pressure is probably going to come in the first 10 minutes. We have to suck the pressure. We have to probably look at the templates by Liverpool. We have to probably look at the templates by, I mean, recently Wolves drew Newcastle. Uh, but let's look at the great result that Newcastle have had. Recently beat Man United at Old Trafford, destroyed PSG 4-1. They lost at home to Borussia Dortmund, by the way, even though they played well, the goals didn't come, but they lost. So their own performances as well have not been that convincing, but they've been on the rise since that turnaround from losing to Liverpool, uh, and they've been bouncing back. So also lost to Brighton. They beat Aston Villa 5-1, which was a great game for them, and they thought yeah, that's it, they're gonna win the league and all that. But again, I think reality is setting in, and Eddie Howe was trying to play differently. And I said this in one of my preview. I think if you actually go back to my preview against when they played against Liverpool, I said Newcastle needs to do what Newcastle is known for. Eddie Howe has to play the way people, you know, is familiar with. He has to go back to the basics. And that's what he went back to after that Liverpool loss. I started doing the basic things. It's normal formation 4-3-3, and let them play the way they are, rugged physicality, containing attack when they need to attack, retreat when they need to retreat. And I went back to that style, and that's helped them. So I think it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a great game for both teams. It's going to be a tough game for Arsenal. It's going to be it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough one. So for Newcastle to take 3 points, I think they need to exploit gaps. And that gaps might come from our left back if Zinchenko actually start that game. It's not a great defender. To me, Zinchenko is a midfielder. If they can exploit that, that's an area. Uh, if they can take advantage of the fact that Nketiah is not a good ball holder compared to Jesus, um, they can probably push one more person up front in the midfield to combat. Uh, I know Guimaraes is going to give us a very tough game, but we've played against them. As a matter of fact, the records back Arsenal. Arsenal has won 8 out of their last 10 EPL games. Um, every time we go there, we get results. So yeah, the stats are good. We've had a very good result, against Newcastle. But this is a new season. This is a new season that Newcastle is playing in Champions League. This is a new season that Eddie brought up this team to a different level. So I'm not definitely going to rely too much on the stats, but I think Arsenal playing the Arsenal game, I am not worried. I think it's going to be. I think we can do this. I think Arsenal can do this. I think they can go to St. James's Park and grab the 3 point. One thing I'm not too sure is, talking about tactics, should we play Jorginho and Declan Rice, or should we take a risk and just have Rice hold and give Havertz another opportunity? That's a tough call, considering that Havertz has not really delivered. Uh, I know it's the first season, but this is an established player. This is a player that has won the Champions League, and you wonder why his confidence has really been shattered. Uh, but I don't know. That might be a risk. Having Havertz in that midfield with Odegaard, anyone would think that's an advantage. However, the physicality, Newcastle is going to bring on that physicality for sure. Trust me. And dealing with that physicality is not something that I don't know if Havertz is able to cope with that kind of physicality. So that's a trick that. But to be on the safe side, I would prefer Jorginho, Rice, and Odegaard. But if Ateta wanted, would like to take a risk and maybe do some tweaks, I send them in training. He probably knows who is better. We can also play Declan Rice, Havertz, and Odegaard in the midfield, and I've had to explore some of those gaps. Now you're going to have Jolinton to combat it. You're going to have Bruno Guimaraes running around. Sean Lockstaff is a very disciplined player. You're going to have to find a way to get past him. But drawing Zichenko a little bit in front, pairing with Rice so that you can push Havertz up a bit, that might be an option. But you have to then deal with the gap that Zichenko is going to leave behind. That's when you need to then bring Gabriel to cover a bit and have Saliba to be very alert and deal with Callum Wilson on his own. Because when Gabriel and Saliba plays, it's hard for a striker to get in between the two of them. When the two of them are actually in good sync, that's a challenge for any striker. So Ben White, I think he should be fine. Ben White is a reliable player. Sometimes he loses his head, but Ben White should be able to deal with Anthony Gordon. He had played with Mitoma. He had dealt with Mitoma before. Gordon shouldn't be a problem for Ben White to handle. So I think that should be a good game. Bukayo Saka, I expect him to be on top of his game. If he is, he can draw down Bond. But again, Newcastle defenders are crazy defenders. They maintain the line. It's hard to move them around. It's a challenge. So Bukayo Saka, you're going to have to find a way to draw down Bond out of his shape. Martinelli, I really need you to go one-on-one when you have that chance, one-on-one on Trippier. You got to just keep doing it. Trippier is great, but you can't let Trippier come in and be making those set pieces and be, supporting the attack. We cannot allow that. So you got to find a way to push back Trippier so that you make him a defender, not a midfielder this time around. You have a good goalkeeper, Nick Pope. We have a good goalkeeper too, David Raya, who is just trying to get used to this game. He gives me heart attack most times with his playing from the back. So that's a challenge we have to do. But David Raya might be the best player right now. Ramsdale's confidence is probably shattered. So that's what I see. Callum Wilson will expect to receive the ball, push back our defense, but Gabriel and Saliba, like I said, have to deal with that. I think it's a balanced game. I think Arsenal has a better bench to make subs if needed. The first 10 minutes is going to be chaotic. Arsenal has to deal with the first 10-15 minutes, push back. And I think we have to attack like we're playing on home soil as well. We have to play like, if you really want to win the EPL, these are the games you need. Playing against Newcastle and going to Newcastle and defeating Newcastle. That's going to be a champion statement. If you really want to win EPL. So if Arsenal can go to St. James's Park and make a statement, then challenge for EPL is questionable. So you have to do that. On the other hand, Newcastle wants to show that I'm a top 4 team and I want to win the EPL too. You have to beat the likes of Arsenal. You have to beat them convincingly. You beat PSG this season already. You dropped Man City out of the EFL Cup. You destroyed Aston Villa, and you've been having results. You've been coming back, right? So you just recently went to Old Trafford and destroyed Man United. So beating Arsenal is another good statement if you want to win the league or want to show that I'm a top 3, top 4 contender. So on both sides, yes, motivation to get the point. But if they settle for a draw, I think I'll take it. If they settle for a draw, I'll take it and I'll move on. It's not the best, but Arsenal drop point, take a draw. I think that's better than a loss. Eddie Howe, great tactician. I respect him. He's done a great work since he joined. Joe Willock is coming back from injury. He definitely want to make a statement that Arsenal shouldn't have sold him. He's come to be a great player, but I think that's also his level. I think if he had stayed in Arsenal, I'm not sure if he would have been able to get to that level. So I think that move was good for him. No hard feelings. I like him, but it wouldn't have bent. Joe Willock would not have benched Saka. He would have been a backup. So that's fine. All right. So that's kind of my analysis. Prediction. That's hard. Oh, jeez. The last time we won, April. and I think we can win again. I think 3-1. Uh, 3-1. If I can give a double prediction, maybe a 2-2 draw. But I'm hoping and trusting for a 3-1 win for Arsenal. And I think it's going to be an exciting game. Yeah. So that's my analysis. Feel free to drop comments, like, share, dislike, give me reasons. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you have a different lineup prediction. Tell me what your predictions are. Drop those in the comment section, and I'll respond. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, the game will kick off in a few hours. Let's enjoy it. It's gonna be fun. Thank you. Talk Football Live. We'll be back, and we're gonna have the preview for Chelsea Tottenham out as well. Thank you very much. Bye bye.